Hey, greetings. My name is Coach Mark, and as a educational consultant, motivational speaker, as well as transformational coach, I know the power of learning and sharing those learned experiences with others. I recently had the opportunity to travel to South Africa, Johannesburg, and Cape Town. And here are the top 10 things that I learned on my vacation. Here's the fourth thing that I learned on my trip to South Africa. Okay, so Nelson Mandela. Everyone knows who Nelson Mandela is. He's world recognized for the work that he did. But here's a few things that I learned, and then here's a few things that, is not necessarily prevalent, but some ideologies that are reflective about Nelson. So Nelson Mandela, as most people know, that he fought for the end of apartheid. He was imprisoned quite a bit for that fight and those things that he did to free the country of those separatism ideologies and so forth. Once he was released from prison, he became the first president, but also the first African American president, but is considered the first president under the new constitution that allowed Africans to have a place in their own country, and the ending and the of apartheid. So Nelson Mandela was considered so great because a lot of the progressive policies and the constitution that they had came at the hands of Nelson Mandela as he was released from prison and stepped into the role of president. And he was able to be president because this was the first time that Africans and colored were allowed to vote. In the past, previous to that, based off what my research and what I learned was because they did not have an opportunity to vote, and well, then of course, who would be the leader of that statehood? It would be, of course, a white or European, and so or what they like to call a white African, if you will, a South African. So because Nelson Mandela was released and Africans were now allowed to vote, he became the first president. Now, there's this love that everyone speaks of when they talk about Mandela and the things that he did and so forth. But on the backside, there's some things that people feel kind of, for lack of a better word, slighted from Nelson Mandela, because as he went into that role, he was the first. He had a lot to accomplish so that he wouldn't be the last. So there is a feeling that he had to make a lot of concessions in order to have the power, in order to be able to do some of the things that he was able to do. And one of those things that I saw was kind of demonstrated was in the city of Johannesburg, there is this building that was owned by Europeans, whites or Europeans. And it's a beautiful building. It's right in the heart in the city, highly protected, but it is unoccupied. They actually left this place and built another location where they do their business and so forth. So you have this land or this beautiful building in the city of Johannesburg that no one can occupy because they own it. And so, like so many other lands that was stolen from Africans and stole from natives of that land, there was a hope that something would be done that would allow them to get back some of this land. And they felt like one of the concessions that Nelson Mandela made was that there would not be a take back of lands and take back of items that were stolen from them. And so while there's this love for Mandela, there's also this like, I don't know about, he ain't, all that clean and all that other stuff because of the concessions and the things that the belief that he made in order to have the power and in order to do that. Okay, so that's what I learned. Sometimes you got to talk to the local people. They'll give you the insight, the true insight that the history books don't always tell. All right.